Hey everybody, it's Jim here. Today we're going to be talking about spring reverbs. I want to ask you a question before we get started or talk about what gear we're going to be using. For that brief opening clip, did you think it sounded pretty good? Did you think it sounded great? Did you think it sounded bad? Really, at the end of the day, regardless of whatever I'm going to be talking about or whatever anybody's going to be talking about on YouTube, all that really matters is, do you enjoy the sound of it? Whether or not it's a perfect, accurate representation of the thing it's trying to emulate is one thing or another. However, to me, I thought that sounded pretty good. Now, we're going to be using the Dr. Z Z+. That has a built-in spring reverb tank in it. We're also going to be turning the reverb off at times and comparing it with a plugin from Two Notes, the Spring 63. That's available if you use Genome, which I did use at the opening of today's video with these exact settings. The signal chain for today's video is going to be guitar into the pedal board. Probably not going to be using all too many of the pedals, but it's just how the rig is set up. Into the Dr. Z Z+ combo, that is hooked up to the Two Notes Captor X, then that's feeding into the Apollo interface, where inside of the actual DAW, Pro Tools is the one that I choose. I am going to be able to disable or engage the Spring 63 reverb and compare it back to back just for a little bit with the spring reverb that's built into the Dr. Z amp that comes from a real tank. Now I'm going to disengage the Spring 63 plugin and we're going to get some clean tones out of the amp as our bass line with no reverb whatsoever. Real clean. Reverb is now turned up to a similar level from the Dr. Z. Turn that off. Plug in. So already, they do sound a little bit different, and I'm not exactly sure if I played the same exact thing there. Sometimes my brain gets a little scattered. However, I thought both sounded good. Let's go ahead and crank it up a little bit more, see if we can get a little bit splashier. The reverb on the Z is now at 12. That sounds good. Turn up a little bit on this guy. We'll turn the intensity up. We'll try that. Dead center, 12 o'clock, just like the other one. Really splashy. Let's try this with the bridge pickup now. Turn that off. Reverb still at noon. All right, let's try a little bit more extreme settings. I got put the intensity up to 85 and the mixer is at 41. We're on the neck pickup. Turn that guy off. I don't know why I turned all those knobs off, but I did. Now we'll turn the master on the Z up. It's about 2 p.m. All right. Once I was using that much reverb, it was pretty obvious that I definitely preferred the analog tank from the Dr. Z. However, up until that point, I didn't feel like it was like a gigantic difference between the two of them. Yeah, they have their own different kind of tones and things going on to them. And honestly, I'm probably not the best. And the simplicity of having just the one knob on the Dr. Z, just the level, the amount of reverb available to me, compared to having the 3 different parameters, I'm sure I could get it even closer. But what I wanted to do, and the purpose of today's video, is just like straight out of the box, you get this thing, you get Genome. Can it deliver you a sound that you're going to be happy with for, you know, anything from light surfy to a little bit of ambient stuff going on and all the way up to potentially some drip action going on? I think it does a really admirable job of it. So the Spring 63 won't be replacing the Dr. Z's built-in Spring Reverb tank when I have it available to me, but what if I don't always have it available to me? One of the nice things about Genome is it's portable and I don't need any amplifier. All I need is an interface that can hook up to either a laptop or a computer, and I can get all these same exact sounds no matter where I go. And that to me is a huge selling point for somebody who wants to be performing using something like a Bose S1 Pro and not lugging around the gigantic tube amp, knowing that so long as I'm not really pushing past the point where we got to today, because honestly, it wasn't my favorite at that point, but prior to that, I was absolutely happy with the way it sounded, and really, it's a really great value considering that the actual software itself for a year license is under $80 if I recall correctly. And no, this is not a sponsored video. Nobody paid me to make this. I just wanted to get that out of the way. I don't think I've said that today. That's something that probably should be said. However, the plugin itself is additional on top of that license. I think it's like anywhere from 10 to 15 bucks. For me, it's perfect. I actually like some of the other stock amps, and when we make our next little Genome video, we're going to focus on a few of those, from clean to a little bit of classic crunch. But that's it for today. I'm not going to talk your ear off, and, you know, I think that the results speak for themselves. So, judge away. Let me know in the comments section what you thought of today's brief little back-to-back little A to B comparison and what you would like to see going forward with Genome and with our new kind of hybrid setup going on here. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take it easy, everybody.